I'm in the bar, and obviously I'm the only white boy, but I felt totally at home. I'm chilling. But I was the only white boy, and I guess like some other gangbanger dudes were in the bar getting drunk. And they started calling me a skinhead. They're like, what you doing, skinhead? They started like talking shit. So I was like, yo, chill. You're ruining my high. You guys are fucking on my high, man. Right? And I'm talking to this one fool. I'm trying to settle him down, you know, but out of nowhere, motherfucking Zion comes running through the bar with a motherfucking machete. Just sticks the motherfucker in homeboy's back.
Before we even get into anything, because I know there's a whole bunch of shit I want to say to you, I know that, and I want to hear you talk about. But I want you to get on the record real quick about this record that you're putting out, and fucking like try to explain it to the people who watch this, like the exciting energy around this fucking new album that you're putting out.
Well, yeah, I've actually been working on. I mean, we put out a record in 2015. Brett and I, like, I had been recording the whole time in my insanity for the last couple decades, but never really releasing anything, just kind of, a bunch of fucked up demos that are pretty rad still. But anyway, and we put out the record in 2015, which was just us. Like, Brett called me and said, I found some old unreleased Crazy Town shit, we should put it out. Then we went in to do a couple new songs and ended up being the Brimstone Sluggers record, which was dope, but it wasn't necessarily the record. You know, it was me coming out of rehab and Brett and me finally getting back in the studio, which was really cool, but we didn't have a band. So it's not like a live record. Not that the new record I'm making is completely live either, but it was just more of a hip hop record. It was just kind of like, and I love the record. It's actually a dope record. But then we went on tour, and, you know, we had been gone. It was kind of like, you know, the analogy of the guy who partied too hard, and I woke up under a tree with a beard like 100 years later, and it was like, what the fuck just happened?
Right, yeah.
And
that's funny.
Yeah, you know, I was just like, fuck. Okay, now what? And obviously, like, music is part of me. I will always do it. And so we put out that record, and I got really excited, and Brett was excited too, but the climate in the record industry had changed, and it had been too long to have the push that we had back in the day.
Right.
So, you know, we signed to a label that I think was the wrong label. Not that you know, the whole music business is fucked.
It is.
So,
it's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different. So anyway, we signed to a label that made us feel like they were going to do something, and they really just put it out and sold it to the same people that would have bought it if we had put it out ourselves. And, you know, we're still recouping off of it, you know, which I don't understand because they didn't promote it. But anyway, so that's the record business. Yeah. So anyway, that record came out, and we went and toured, and it was humbling, to say the least. We went and toured, and, like, I mean, besides the fact that as a band, you know, we had a lot of success that we totally took for granted and fucked up. But then when we came back, you know, that many years later, we were still able to book shows all over the world, which a lot of bands can't do. So I mean, well, I heard
you
know, I can either look at it in a bad light, like we could have been Linkin Park, or I can look at it in a good light, like I can still book shows in every fucking country in the world. So it's like, you know,
it's all in how you look at it.
It's all in how you look at it. I'd rather look at it as I can, you know,
I've heard some
rhymes.
I've heard some rhymes you've done and on this album, and you're fucking, like, it's unbelievable because, you know, people who know anything about you've known you've died a bunch of times. You've gone through the fucking ringer. You've been stabbed and died. You fucking OD'd and died. But yet somehow you're rapping better than you probably ever rapped in your fucking life. So explain to me, did you, like, maybe die and go to heaven and, like, come back with fucking superhuman skills, or, like, what the fuck exactly?
I mean,
how are you at this level? That, I mean, it's unbelievable, the level of.
I would like to think. I mean, a lot of my favorite artists. A lot of artists go through shit mentally, and, you know, they could. Like, a lot of my favorite bands, like, stop making great records. Like, as a child, like, you would think as an artist, you know, you would know this too. You would hope that you would get better with age.
Right.
But a lot of people get into this funk, or they work, you know, and they put out shit that you're just like, how the fuck are you getting worse?
It's so true.
You know, and
there's a lot of people like that.
I was always good at it, but I like to think that, you know, you get better with age, and you master your craft, and also I've never been hesitant to learn from MCs that I admire, and I'm always learning. I never think of myself as the best. You know, and I'm like a sponge, and you know, for creativity, and I've been learning the whole time. So I like to think that when I get back in the studio, you know, I'm going to make the best record of my life.
Well, having the fortunate happenings of, or being, I should say, being fortunate enough to have been in the studio with you and seeing how you work, you are like a conductor. It's unbelievable. Like you have this vision of an idea, and there's a lot of successful people who I know in other, not just in music, but in other areas of business that are very similar to you. You have this a vision, and you are adamant about this vision, and everyone that you somehow just get this collection of people and all these different talented guitarists and fucking bassists and engineers and mixers and all these awesome people, and you somehow, I don't know how you do it, but you somehow have this ability to let everybody know what that vision is and have everyone on the same page, and then everyone just collectively creates it, and then in the end you have this thing and you're like, yep, that's what I wanted to make. And I'm just like, how in the hell did you do that?
I pull it off, but a lot of the time, like, if you knew how stressful it is to go through that process, because I set the bar really high, and a lot of times I run into roadblocks with my vision. Yeah. Or I'll get a mix, or I'll get something and it won't be right, and I'll have to go. It's like the Rubik's Cube of my life, you know, like I have to figure it out, but I do a lot. And a lot of these songs, you know, start out as some stupid little beat that I felt something over, and then we make it into a masterpiece. And, you know, I mean, at least I like to think it's a masterpiece. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know. Well, every artist, you got to think that way.
Yeah, it's my masterpiece.
Right, exactly.
It's my personal masterpiece.
Humbly, it's my masterpiece.
Yes. You might not like it, but it's my masterpiece.
Exactly.
So anyway.
Well, but you mentioned something earlier about the change in the music business, which it's fucking unbelievable. Back in the day, from when I was signed and when we both knew each other doing music, even back then, it's unreal how much it's changed. And I noticed that you seem to adapt it to that a lot. Like, for instance, your Instagram is on smash. Like, every time I talk to anyone about you, there are people who I didn't even know follow you. Like, people that I know that I didn't even know they knew who you were or whatever. And I'm bringing you up, and then they're like, oh yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I'm like, what? And people are, and like, you go on there and you have these beautiful photos of you and your wife to be. And you have all these amazing pictures. You look better than you've ever looked in fucking forever. You're taking extraordinarily good care of yourself. But you do still have this insane amount of people that just really are fucking they're impressed with. I mean, it's unbelievable what you've managed to do to go from being where you were, like, you know, the show there, fucking Celebrity Rehab, to go from that and to be where you are today. It's unbelievable. So I think that, like, you seem to have adapted to, like, the new way things are, but like how do you feel about, like, this whole sort of, like, YouTube music generation, though? Like, I mean, like, what do you?
I'm you know, I really am learning as I go along, and I wouldn't say I have anything mastered. Like, I'm fascinated by it. I don't understand it completely, but I'm learning as I go along, and I like it. Like, you know, like, Instagram was an easy one for me because I always liked collages and photos and shit like that. I was like, I never went on Facebook. I had, like, people pretending they were me all over Facebook. There's like 12 me's on Facebook. You know, I run into people all the time. They were like, we were talking for 6 months on Facebook. You helped me through the roughest time of my life.
Oh,
and
my God.
I'm like, that was not even fucking me, but I'm glad you're okay. You know?
So weird.
Yeah, it's just weird shit. And I know who it was. It was like this couple of my managers that ran my Facebook and shit like that, who were bored and shit, and they fucking would start these weird relationships with people.
With girl, like, just catfishing chicks and pretending to be
pretending they're me.
That is so fucking weird.
Fucking weird. But anyway, you know, I guess they did help a couple of people.
I guess. Yeah. So it's all for the good, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of people that hate me from it too, but yeah. You know,
that's fucking crazy.
You know, but
that's wild.
Yeah, Instagram works probably, but you know, I do trip on on Instagram, but the people that are on my Instagram are real and loyal and cool, and they're fans from all over the world, and I'm grateful to have them, you know, be interested in what I'm doing, and actually I've become really good friends with like just random people who we have similar tastes in art and like I find like really cool fucking people who collect the weirdest pictures that I don't even know where the fuck they get them, but they're amazing, and like we become friends because I steal their shit. And
you're like, I love this.
I love this. I don't know how you spend so much time on the computer to find shit like this, but I'm going to take it from you.
You know, it's funny. I saw a meme on the internet one day, and it said, if you feel depressed about life, go on your Instagram and block all of the models and what was it? Block all the models, the influencers, and the blog, you know, the bloggers, the travel bloggers, and all that. And it said, and start following the artists and the creatives and the creative types.
See, that's what I do. That's what fascinates me. I don't really.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping on all that shit. I saw that shit for years. Like,
yeah.
I like the like cool artistic people that find like really interesting shit. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's some people obsessed with the fame and the wealth and just showing me in front of a limit.
Yeah, there's other people who like spend a lot of time to post the coolest shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. They're like the masks guy. Remember the masks guy that we were talking a while back about, the guy that makes the masks?
Oh yeah. I mean, you find these amazing artists all over the world.
Yeah, that's
and then there's
crazy.
just these random cool people like Upson or Fiddle or like weird, really cool, really cool photos. You know, like people must really like it. You know. They do some searching to find some like amazing shit. It's like magazines,
yeah,
but of like random rad shit. You know, like I'm a little twisted. You know, I like some weird shit.
For your album cover, you ever thought about maybe reaching out to one of these dope artists on Instagram and giving them a shot to get an album cover done?
Well, actually, yeah. There's a lot of artists that I would like to work with, and a lot of graffiti artists. Like, you know, I grew up doing graffiti, and graffiti has become modern art. It's like high-end art now. It's not some street shit anymore. If you're good, you know, you can make a fortune with graffiti.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of those artists I grew up around with anyway. I mean, I have a super long list of people that I would like to work with. But right now, you know, and the same people that I want to work with are blowing the hell up. They're doing album covers for some of the biggest artists in the world. So God bless them, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's tattoo artists, you know, I'm a tattoo fan, and I get to look at tattoos from fucking all over the world.
Yeah,
you know. So for me, it's cool. It's a good outlet, you know. But
all right. So, this album that you're working on.
Yes.
Out of all the music that you have ever done, or that I've ever heard you do before, this sounds like the most personal music that you've ever done. So, talk about that for a minute. Like, this is a really like meaningful record for you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't actually. All my music has been personal, pretty much. It's all been personal. Like,
I don't know, on this level?
On this level, I think I'm just a little deeper now. Like, it's always been personal about, you know.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, but now, shit is serious. You know? It's like, with all the shit I've been through and the fact that I'm still alive and still in one piece, healthy, which is a fucking miracle, and the opportunity I have to do damage control and kind of as an artist and step up to the plate and not just make some fucking record to pay my bills, but to make a record that hopefully will be the record that next time I die will be remembered as kind of like a
next time I die.
You know, that will. Yeah. This is my chance to make another record that I might have never made, and so it's very, very important and special to me, and I want it to be great.
Right. Well, I from everything that I've heard thus far, it's fucking incredible. I mean, like the music and the rhyme. You're definitely you found a way, from, in my opinion, of course, speaking solely from my opinion, it seems like you have found a way to take what your fans who love what you have always done, they would love it, but there's also this weird sort of vibe to it that I think will still be appealing to people today, that are like the younger generation of today would still vibe it, which is a really tough thing to do. Like that's a very, very
yeah,
hard
it's chemistry. You got to mix that shit right. You know, obviously, I don't want to make a new metal record from 1999 or you know, 2000.
Exactly. Right.
And I'm making a record that's progressive, yet staying true to what my influences are. And
who are some of your biggest influences?
Well, I mean, it started with I mean, obviously, I grew up around a lot of Rolling Stones, Steely Dan, blues, and stuff like that, being around my father and my mom, you know, so I was always around music. But then, obviously, when I've discovered music for myself, it was more hardcore music because I was a little skater kid. So I discovered the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and hip hop music. And then I discovered like Minor Threat, Gangrene, you know, stuff
Minor
like
Threat. Wow, that's crazy.
You know, and then obviously there was other artists that totally blew my mind. Like I remember Prince. You know, my dad took me to see Purple Rain, and I went back 5 times.
Wait a minute, you saw Prince live?
No, I saw the movie.
Oh, the Purple Rain. The movie, the Purple Rain. Okay.
Purple Rain, you know, but it was enough for me.
Yeah,
you know, and it was just rocked my world. I went back, and it was like playing at the little theater in the little town I lived in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and I went back like over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's right. You did live. That's right.
And you know, reggae. You know, my dad was an artist, and I was lucky enough to, when I was little, to go to Jamaica for like 4 months or 5 months. We actually like rented a house there, and I got to like really listen to a lot of reggae and watch a lot of artists there. Mm-hmm. And I was always fascinated with music. But yeah, my big influences would be, you know, I was a hip hop kid, so a lot of you know, Tribe Called Quest,
Beasties,
Brand Nubian, Beastie Boys. You know, it's endless, really.
Yeah,
it's, you know, Biggie Smalls, NWA.
What would you
DJ
say?
Quick,
what would you say is like your favorite album? You ever
my favorite album of all time would have to be License to Ill. It was the one that was really the one that because it was the perfect mixture of like punk rock attitude with hip hop, and it was that really fit me. It was kind of like the blueprint for what I wanted to do. And then I found other bands that were playing with like Biohazard. The Judgment Night album was like a huge record for me, you know, and I love that record. And that's kind of like when we started working on Crazy Town, you know, I listened to all kinds of shit, but when we were doing Crazy Town, it was kind of like a more modern version of the Beastie Boys. You know, I was a rapper kid, little skateboarding rapper kid who did graffiti, and I wanted to incorporate a band. And the bands that I was listening to at that point were Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, you know, Korn.
Rage, God, I love those guys.
And those were the bands that really I wanted to bring in those more modern elements into hip hop. So then we caught that whole, like, I guess they're calling it the new metal wave, and that's the wave we caught.
Right.
But a lot of those kids were rock kids who were rapping, and we were rap kids who were wanting to rock.
Putting a little more rock to it.
So
that's kind of like too what your record is like now. It's actually it sits sort of in the same vein as that sort of little like a Lil Peep, but on the same token, like that trap metal kind of a vibe. But on the same token, it sort of has a blend of what you used to do too, and it's
yeah, really... it's a trip with all this new music. Like even take Post Malone. Mm-hmm. You know, he's rocking the charts, right?
Yeah.
But what Post Malone was, he was a kid who listened to rock and hip hop and everything, and it's kind of a hybrid of Butterfly and what we were doing, you know, 20 years ago. It really is. It's like evolved. Or you listen to Lil Peep, and it's like. It's the same page. I mean, yes, the beats have evolved and the artists have evolved, but it's the same attitude. And it's like a lot of influences coming together and making something cool. And so this new record is kind of, I'm staying true to what I always did, but you know, it's evolving and I love a lot of the new music and So, I'm incorporating that, just like the elements of the hip hop. I grew up, it had a lot more of old school. Like our first record had KRS-One on it, Mad Lion, it was a more, we've always been fans of hip hop, but now as I've grown older and stuff, hip hop has changed. And so I don't want to make a record with dated sounding hip hop.
Right. No, absolutely.
Even though I love classic hip hop, I'm trying to take what the young kids are listening to now and what I'm listening to now and incorporate those hip hop influences into the rock element. Right. So just to because I'm as an artist, you want to grow. I'm not trying to make the same shit over and over again. I'm not making a record for the fans from back then. I'm making a record that my old fans will appreciate, but that new people will appreciate too.
Sure. No. So a lot of people, you've heard this, I'm sure. People always nag all the time about this generation's a bunch of fucking pussies. Back in the day, we used to fucking chuck, fucking tables out of hotel rooms, and we were all fucking, snorting coke off a hooker's tit. Doug Stanhope. But anyway, nowadays it's not like that at all. In fact, they frown. This generation seems to frown on that type of
behavior.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
What? That's actually, yes. Society frowns upon that.
Right.
But you don't think there's a bunch of young kids getting lit, right. Listen to the artists we were just talking about. Those kids are partying.
Right, for sure.
And it will always be frowned upon. Yes, when I was younger, all my idols were smashing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I wanted to do was get a fucking record deal and light shit on fire. Like, that was the dream.
Right.
And then I did it, and it was brilliant. It was fun until it wasn't fun anymore. And then you get to, then you get to become, VH1 behind the music. You get to live the whole story, and you get to deal with all the repercussions, just like all the young kids who wanted to gangbang, and then all their friends get shot and they end up in prison, and it's not
No.
You play around and you pay the price.
Absolutely.
So,
which I noticed that there's not any lyrical content regarding any of that kind of shit on your album this time around. I noticed that you seem to be at a place now where you're like, you who you are has evolved now, so you're just not. It's not that you're preachy because your albums doesn't.
No, it's
but
definitely
you're not like, don't do drugs, kids. All hypocritical or whatever. You do represent sobriety. I think that's one of the reasons why people have a soft spot for you in that regard, because you don't come off like a fucking hypocrite. You don't come off like, hey, I did drugs once and it's bad and you guys should be fucking, like kind of like how the baby boomer generation was. They were all fucking doing coke in the 60s, and the next thing you know, they're all don't do drugs kids like 25 fucking years later. You have more of like you have a sobriety approach, but just on a personal level of like, this is where I'm at now. But you're the first person not to judge somebody else if they want to fucking party or that's the life that they want to live.
I get it. Everyone, and some people have managed to live, that lifestyle and maintain it, like I remember in my partying, I was like, how does Keith Richards do it? But
he's still alive.
He's still alive, and he looks younger than me, so it's like, but
yeah.
Some people, every person is different, but the one thing I will tell you is, you want to live that life, get ready, put on your seatbelt, because, it's not all fun.
Right.
And, it's a very difficult, traumatizing, interesting ride.
Right. So like they say, you do the crime, you do the time. In
Basically,
this case,
it's the same.
You do the drugs.
You do the line, you do the time.
Yeah, you do the line, you do the time. Exactly.
So, yeah, and but it's made me who I am, and also I'm very open. Like, believe me, like, it's when the drugs get dark. Like, there's a lot of drugs I don't feel are dark. Like
shrooms.
Shrooms. You don't want to take them all the time. But I've had some interesting,
same.
Experiences on shrooms, or when I used to hear like people talk about acid. Like, there's something wild about
one of the best one of your favorite rhymes I ever did, I wrote on shrooms. Dead ass serious. I thought I was getting sucked out of a window in a living room, and I was freaked out. Like, it was fucking wild, but it was a rhyme that I did back in the day that you used to love, and I wrote it high on shrooms.
Right. I mean there's one thing with expanding your mind testing shit, and then there's the point where, you know, it's not fun and you're doing drugs that make you want to lock yourself away from people and destroy yourself. You know, there's partying because it's fun or because you're experiencing life or amplifying life, and then there's a point where it becomes completely destructive.
Right.
You know, and you cross that line. It's an invisible line that you cross, and once you cross it, you know, shit is real, very real.
Right.
And you know, so, you know, like weed doesn't bother me. Like I've loved weed. I've just found for myself I love being clear-headed now. Maybe that's because I was so high for so long that just being completely clear-headed is beautiful for me right now.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that's actually something that I wanted to ask you about. Is like, yeah, the how does that feel? I mean, that must be
I fell asleep
to
under a
just
tree
be
and woke up 20
completely
years later. You know, I'm still a kid at heart, and I'm still gonna make music
right.
no matter what.
You acted as a kid. You were in a movie as a kid. I forget the name of the movie. What was it? What was it called?
Yeah, I did a few things when I was a kid. What, the Clifford?
Yeah, Clifford.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that? Like
I don't know,
8?
man.
I think you were like
No,
fucking.
I was like 15.
Oh,
14,
were you? Oh, I thought it
14.
was like you were.
I
real
look
little.
8 in it. I look 8, but no, I must have been 13, 14. I don't know.
Would you ever go? Would you ever act in a movie again?
I would.
You would?
I would.
Yeah, I think you'd be fucking.
Now I'd love to fucking act. You know, I've always. I mean, I love movies. I watch probably too many movies for my own good. Like, I love films. It's one thing that I've always loved. And yeah, I would like to act. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a lot of stuff, but that's not like my main focus. But yeah, I mean, I love acting, and I have a lot of great friends that I've watched turn into brilliant actors. So
That's crazy. So you also, you have, or had, some kind of some sort of I guess you could say connection in some way to Heidi Fleiss, right? Is that,
I mean, not
Oh.
not a connection.
Or some kind of-
My I think my sister and her brother went to school together, and her father delivered me.
So yeah, so Heidi, that's what it was. Heidi Fleiss's father was a doctor who delivered you. when you were
Delivered
born.
me as a child, yes.
Okay, so I don't really know. I mean, you want to talk about being born Hollywood? You were born Hollywood. It doesn't get any more crazier than that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a crazy small world, right?
Yeah, that's really wild, man, to have that story. But you have a ton of stories, and there's one that I know that you were wanting to tell me about the Eric Clapton Rehab set.
Our record starts doing really well. All right, and when you're in that, now it was very traumatizing. At the same time as all your dreams are coming true, you know, you have this. Our band kind of catapulted. You know, we went from just being a cool band. We were doing Ozfest. We were playing a lot of shows. We had a really cool, you know, small fan base. And then we put out this song, and it went. It almost did too well. Like it was a blessing and a curse. And the song got so big that I didn't know how to process it. You know, it was like we were something cool, and all of a sudden we were almost to the point where it was like a band I wouldn't like. Like it got so pop. It went from being on the rock charts to the Latin charts to the pop charts. It went number 1 all over the world, and all of a sudden I was like, man, stop getting this big. You know, I love the song, but it was just, you know, it was just this weird phenomenon that had happened with this song, and so part of me like was excited, you know, and I'm making all this money, and then at the same time we're getting backlash from the harder kids and from the kids, and I was like,
So the people you wanted credibility for, or the people that you wanted to like you, the fans that you really
yeah, you
wanted
can't
to,
be on Ozfest and be number 1 on TRL at the time. It was just
right.
it was just not working for us, you know.
Yeah, that's odd. That's an odd
And
situation.
it was the same song that we were playing the year before at Ozfest, and everyone loved. But the second it was commercial, it wasn't cool anymore. So there was that whole thing where, you know, I mean, be careful what you wish for. You put out a record, it does well. That's what, you know, that's what you want. But at the same time, you know, once you put it in the stream, you know, it's like you can't stop it. You know, once that shit blows up, you can't stop it. It's going to keep blowing up until it's done. And it's like, you know, lighting a fucking bomb.
Yeah.
You know, once the fuse is gone, that shit's blowing up. It's just, it blows. And so with that became me kind of an identity crisis, right? So I'm like, fuck, and I'm partying, and I'm just like, fuck it. So I kind of got the fuck it's, you know, and the relationship that I was in that I thought was everything crumbled, and all these things, you know, it's like you get everything you wanted and you're still not happy. That's when I found out, you know, like money doesn't make you happy. All those things don't make you happy. Success doesn't isn't what made me happy, you know. I had a lot of fun, you know, but at the same time, I really like was tortured inside and partied really hard, and it's happened a million times. It's like the classic story of someone who gets success and just self-destructs. And I did it, you know. Yeah. I did it beautifully. I tore shit up, you know, and ended up in all the, you know, I've been to every 4-star rehab in the world. And escaped. Some people have an escape story.
Some people have escaped from all the biggest prisons. You're like the guy who's escaped from all the biggest drug
Yes, you know. And I've been to them all. I've been to the hardcore ones. I've been to the lavish ones. And you know, if you're not ready to get sober, it's it's going to be an interesting journey, because you know, when you're in the height of your addiction and they stick you in a place, whether it's, you know, fancy or it's hardcore, it's really hard to stop, you
right.
know, the snowball effect of drugs. So anyway, I went to all these rehabs, you know, and it really became you know, it was very dreamlike. You know, I'm ending up in all these places, and like I'm detoxing, and then I'm high, and they're sticking me on medication that wasn't the right medication to deal with my depression and all these fucking different things. You know, it's really complex. Yeah. Once the mind is out of control, to get it into a good place again, it's not a simple thing, you know. And that's why rehab is such a big business.
Yeah, that's true. They make a lot of money off of that fact. Yep.
So there was a guy named Buddy Arnold at a place called the Musician Assistance Program, which still exists, you know, and basically they help artists who enter the business and get turned down.
Right.
And I qualified, you know, and a lot of amazing bands like the Peppers and Sublime, like these people donate money. I think Aerosmith, a lot of bands donate money to the Musician Assistance Program. It's you know. And they've helped a lot of musicians, and they help people that are going through rehab or need help paying their rent, whether in rehab or blah, blah, blah. And so there was a guy named Buddy Arnold who passed away, and he ran the place, and he was pretty fascinated by me as an addict. He was like, you are the real deal, you know? And so he would, like, I'd come in there and be like, man, I gotta stop. Yeah. Help me. And so he'd be like, Seth, you know, you've left this place, let's try this place. And he'd send me to this place, and I became like his pet project kind of for a minute, you know. He was like, man, you remind me of me, you know, because he was this hardcore junkie who took him a while to get really sober too. So he was just like, what's it gonna take?
But it seems like it's pretty awesome that you knew you needed to stop, though. I mean, some people never even grasp that. Yeah, I don't think, you know, my mother was a pretty bad drug addict. I don't think that there was ever a time when she ever just like was like, fuck, I need to stop. She was just like, fuck, I don't, you know, it was, maybe you know, she did, and I just was young and didn't know she had those moments. But that's pretty awesome that you were aware of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of, you know, being in the position I was in, man, it was like, you know, being in the chocolate factory of drugs.
You had an endless supply of fucking cash.
Bro, it was ridiculous, man. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't even write the shit. Yeah. You know, I went #1 on the Latin charts, and I had like the cartel giving me like 8 balls for like $20 because they liked the song Butterfly. Like I had fools just anything I wanted. Like I wasn't even paying top price. Plus, I had an endless supply of money. Like fools were just like, you know, it was literally like I was in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but it was all dope.
Yeah,
you know, it was amazing. Like. It was like some crazy shit, like streams made of fucking cocaine. You know, it was like wild and
the very, very, very tippity top, very, very tippity top of the chain. Like you were fucking, you know, in that world where you're talking. Because I remember at that time, any woman, any drug, any fucking car, any money, like and drugs.
Yeah, all that shit you fantasize about when you're a little kid. You know, like when that shit happens, it's
it's almost surreal.
It's
right?
almost surreal, and you know, it's not all good.
Yeah.
It's not all good. Like, yeah, there's some shit that's fun for a second.
I actually had in my last podcast, I made a statement where I was talking about the difference in wealth, real wealth versus symbols of wealth. And I'm not going to, you know, repeat myself, but basically I was talking about how you're shopping and you end up throwing a bunch of items into a cart, and then you go to pay for it. And when you pay for it, you end up getting like, mad about how much money it is for the stuff in the cart. But what you have in the cart is actually really valuable. That's actually the real wealth, is like your food. But what you're paying for it, the money, the cash, or the fake numbers on a plastic card, that actually isn't anything. It's a fiat currency. It's something that we've decided has value, but it really doesn't have any value. But we're literally cringing about giving something that has no value in trade for something that actually has value, because we've been trained to believe that this shit is worth something when it's not. What's in the cart's actually worth something. And I was kind of making a comparison of how in the music and the entertainment industry, how a lot of people, they come here wanting the women, the cars, the money, the house, but that's not wealth. That's just a symbol of wealth. And like wealth would be like what Nipsey Hussle had, which is, I mentioned how the respect,
right?
And they're cleaning up the parking lot of his store a month after he died for no money. These dudes, and I asked them about it, and they're like, "We're just here because we fucking have love and respect for him, and we're keeping this place clean." And that's fucking wealth. You know what I mean? That really is the true difference. It's like all that other shit is just, you're surrounded by symbols of wealth everywhere, but it's not really, none of it really has any value. You
Absolutely.
know? Someone told me a long time ago that the money doesn't belong to you; it stays in the game. The money belongs to the game. It just goes through your hands for a second.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You just get to touch it.
Yep. It's crazy, but yeah. So you wound up like, I know you got to a point where you had gotten so bad that you wound up on a plane going to Eric Clapton's
rehabilitation. Yeah. Okay. Long story short, I escaped like from a couple. You know, I left a couple places. I think Promises was the one. He was like, they put me in Promises, and I left within like 48 hours. I couldn't handle the detox process, and I mean, there's amazing stories that I don't need to get into all of them. But then I left, and Buddy would always call me and be like, Seth, you know, a lot of other people were really mad at me, but he was like, Seth, we got to figure out what we're going to do with you, man. You're going to die. And I was like, I know. And he called me. He goes, Seth, I think I found the place for you. It's on an island. He's like, you can't leave. And I was like, sounds rad. So my sister and her husband actually, like, you know, everyone's horrified, like really scared, you know, of what's going to happen to me. Because, you know, I've lost so many people. You know, it wasn't pretty. Anyway,
this place is like basically the fucking San Quentin of rehabilitation centers. Is that like what it is?
No, it's not even San Quentin. It's actually like paradise. It's on an island, and it's owned by Eric Clapton. I mean, it's not San Quentin.
Right? No. I know, but I just mean like to get away from it.
But it is like Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
It's like Folsom.
Yeah, Folsom
with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, and palm trees.
No. But you know, I was just like, you know, I knew I had to get sober. I was like, that sounds kind of dope. Like an island. Like if I'm gonna get sober, like I could picture doing it somewhere tropical. That's fucking dope. So they're like, we got you a bed. Talked him into giving you a bed. Just get on a plane and get there. And so I was like, cool, you know. And I went to like Val Surf, and I got my flip flops and some like surfer shit, you know. I got some like little gear. I remember, man. I was like, I'm going to the islands to get sober. I was high out of my mind. And so I show up there, you know, like I'm going to Hawaii or something. And I got my sunglasses on and my fucking Walkman, and I'm like, let's fucking roll. You know, let's go get sober. And they're like, you gotta just can't be that high when you get to the airport. And I was like trying to like detox a little before I got to the airport. It was just, it wasn't happening. But I was like, I made it to the airport. I got on the plane. I get off the plane and I get picked up. Like all of a sudden, you know, Antigua, it's in a place called Antigua, you know. And so
yeah,
I got off the plane, and you know, like it was a whole culture shock, man. I got off, and there was like a little white van with like 4 Antiguan dudes, chilling, and they're like, pick up my bags, and I was like, wow, man, it was like straight a trip, you know. And these guys were like, here, we're here to pick you up and take you to the rehab. And I get there, and they collect like my passport, and, you know, I get to the place, and it's Eric Clapton started this rehab, and it's ran by. In order to open a rehab there, he had to not only did he have to let some Antiguan addicts and alcoholics come there. That was part of the deal with them giving him the licenses to open this place. Mm-hmm. So there's, you know, 20% Antiguan people, but also the staff. A huge amount of the staff, besides, you know, the counselors there, are Antiguan. So I got there, and there's like some hardcore, like Antiguan ladies, like nurses and stuff, and they're like, shh, sit down. They were a little strict, you know, and I was
militant, basically.
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to be on vacation.
You're like, I thought I was going to be lamping out in the fucking, you know, beach, you know,
right? No,
relaxing under the sun.
It took us forever to get there, and I get there, and you know, obviously, I'm edgy. I'm coming off dope, and like all the other rehabs that I had been to, like when you get there, they give you some pills at least and shit to calm down.
They didn't do that.
No, they didn't do that. They were like, we're sorry, your counselor's out of town and you're going to have to wait till Monday. And I'm like coming off like, you don't know how much dope I'm on. Like, I don't think I can physically come off this shit without some kind of like fucking lubricant. Like,
so this was basically like they're expecting to take you on drugs, throw you in a building, and just let you just go cold turkey without any kind of...
Yeah, that was kind of their attitude. They're like,
Jesus.
No, I mean... They had some doctors, but no one was there. I got there on like some off day. It was just the universe fucking with me. I deserved it. You know, I got there. It was just like, I was like, this shit is fucked up, right? And then they start sending me to like, the first thing they do is they go through my bags and they take all my cool shit. They're like, no music. I'm like, this is Eric Clapton's rehab. How are you not allowed to have music?
Yeah. So okay, so it's Eric Clapton's fucking place, and they're not gonna allow music. That's
So the whole thing just started off wrong. You know, they took all my shit, and the lady looks at me and she's like, no hat. She's like, pull up your pants. And I was like, oh, you guys are tripping. I was like, I'm not here, and she's like,
they wouldn't allow hats?
Yeah, no, they were tripping. They were tripping. I was like, no, you're not fucking with my steez. Like, like I was like, this is not the vibe I wanted to come. Like, just like, let me get off drugs before you start like putting me in a fucking uniform.
Yeah.
And
I could see how that would be.
Yeah,
fucking
you know,
rough.
I was like, I'm here because I want to be here, but don't be mean, you know. And they were just kind of, they had this, you know, they were
Antiguan. So they probably don't have.
Not that Antiguan is like.
No, but they probably are just a little bit less emotional, or
she was just like,
a little more aggressive.
Up, you're here, you know. And the more I learned, she was like, go to the fire pit, and we're gonna, you know, figure out where your bed is and shit. So I go to the fire pit, man, and I'm fucking shocked, right? Not only did I see, I see someone in, well, I'm checking in, I see someone leaving, and they're like, you shouldn't be leaving. He was like, I gotta go, and I actually. I'll put him on blast, but it's whatever. But like Val Kilmer's leaving, and I'm coming in. And I'm like, that's motherfucking Val Kilmer, like Iceman. That's dope, right? I'm like, cool, all right, I'm in the right spot. I got some G's up in here with me, and he was leaving. He was not happy. He was like, I'm out of here. I gotta go film a movie. You guys, you know, he was leaving. He was there for alcohol, nothing, not like me. You know, I was there for fucking everything. But
everything.
He was leaving anyway. That's not Val Kilmer.
Your favorite drug was.
I was like, that's you know, he's in the Doors.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking ride the snake. You know what I'm saying? I'm there all high. I'm like, fucking cool. Jim Morrison's here.
Yeah. You automatically feel like you're like this place has got to be fucking rad if he's staying here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's Eric Clapton's rehab, and there goes Val Kilmer. So I'm like, okay, cool. At least this is gonna be fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So, but then he leaves, and then I realize why he's leaving.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, fuck. And then they put me at this fire pit, and I go to the fire pit, and they're like, oh, here's the new guy. And I walk in, and there's like. It's just a weird fucking scene, bro. Like, no one there is fucking coming off like fucking kilos of cocaine. Like, there's this one kid there who's like some spoiled brat, and he's like, hey, what are you here for? And I was like fucking shaking, and I was just like, everything, you know, what? And he was like there because he had gotten in trouble, like smoking weed and fucking, you know,
what?
Stole, like, there was, it turned out that like, a lot of people pay a lot of money to go to this place. I just got a bed. Right. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a brilliant rehab. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
This is a high kid coming in judging.
Yeah, and well, you were high. Yeah, you were high. You hadn't come down yet.
There wasn't a good therapist to be like, it's going to be okay. You're here. We're happy you're here. It was more like, you're here. Welcome to this weird hospital, you know?
Yeah.
And they put me in this fire pit, and I start rapping with people, and there's like this one lady who's there because she's got a drinking problem, and she's been drinking wine, and she's like a very, very wealthy, you know, lady whose family got together and sent her to the Caribbean to get sober. You know, it's like there's addiction touches all different walks of life, and I had the weirdest assortment of people. It was like, I'm used to hanging out with other dope fiends in the rehabs I go to, and this one was really eclectic. It was like people that were just, some people were just from spoiled families who were like, you want to go to Eric Clapton's rehab, you know, like, so I was in this circle, and like no one really I related to. I was like, motherfucker. And there was one girl who was like really tortured, but I was like, okay, she's sick like me. She was there for heroin, you know, so it was real quick. I met, you know, all these different people, and that's cool. You become friends with a lot of people through that, but I was just like, what a weird place. And, you know, this kid was like, fuck, we're stuck on this island.
So you were like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Immediately, I had some people like, I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Immediately, I come all the way there, and I'm already planning my escape. I'm like, fuck this. And the lady like comes over, and she goes, well, your counselor's not gonna be here till Monday. And so you go to your room, and I go to my room, and I have this like roommate who's like some lawyer dude who's got a coke problem and gambles too much, and you know, like I'm in there with some really wealthy people, you know, like crazy people from like, you know, all over the world who ended up at this rehab in the Caribbean. So
that's wild.
I go there, and he's a cool guy, you know, he's like fucked up his life, and he was, you know, another alcoholic, and he's talking to me, tripping out, and I'm telling him some stories. It's like, wow, man, you know. And we go to lunch, and it's this beautiful place. It's like being at Fantasy Island almost, like, you know, there's like this fucking cabanas and shit, and they're fucking got fruit and all kinds of crazy fish cooking and shit. It was pretty like extravagant and beautiful, like you know. So I go there, and there's all these Antiguan people. There's a chef, you know, who's Antiguan. They're like, you know, a lot of the people here are Antiguan addicts who have gotten jobs at the place, which is actually beautiful, you know.
Oh, so the people that were actually cooking were actually people in recovery.
In recovery,
wow.
who had, you know, problems in Antigua, you know. So as I was there, you know, I got sent to a group. And so I walk over to this group, you know, and I was just a rebellious punk who wanted to get sober but wasn't ready, you know. And so I go over there, and again, these ladies roll up to me. They're like, stop sagging. And I was like, y'all got to chill, dude. I was like, this is who I am. I didn't come here to change the way I dress. I came here to save my fucking life. Stop tripping on my hat. Stop tripping on the way I sag my pants. Like, that shit ain't changing. Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck how sober I get. I'm not going to fucking start wearing a belt.
Exactly. I didn't come to a fucking fashion facility.
I'm not coming here to change it. They're like, you got to change everything. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll change everything inside my head. But, you know, anyway.
Stop talking like that.
Yeah, and I was like, right away, I was like, I don't know if I could deal with this place, you know? Yeah. And I really just needed to, if there had been, I'm sure if I had been brought there and there was a counselor who could have, like, tapped into me, like, I could have stayed, but it just didn't work. And really, it was like trying to cage an animal. I was out of my mind, so it wasn't going to happen. So immediately I'm there, and I go sit by this little fucking fire pit. And all of a sudden, I got, like, one kid, he's like, yo, if you can get me off this island, I will give you a Range Rover. And I'm like, you spoiled little fuck. You know, I was like, I don't need your fucking Range Rover. You know, I was like,
it had you thinking, but I do kind of.
No, but I was just like, look at these weird fucking people. I'm in here. They're offering me shit. We're all stuck around a fucking little campfire. You got fucking, like, I got the alcoholic mom. I got this motherfucking kid who's got a weed problem and wants to escape and give me his Range Rover. I was like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. So then I started, I did get along. The guy that I was in my room with was hilarious. He had like bright red cheeks like Santa Claus. He was like this white boy guy who drank way too much. His family said him looked like he was going to have a heart attack at any fucking second, you know. And he was like, he was cool. Anyway.
He was cool.
He was cool, right? You know, I was feeling him. I was like, yeah, you need to be here, bro. And so
you love the damaged.
Yes, I love the damage, you know? The beautiful and damaged, you know?
So who told you about Cocaine Island?
No. This gets dope right here. Okay.
All right.
So basically, I was there for I think 48, maybe less 72 hours. You know, I was there. I tried, and all of a sudden, you know, I was like, this shit is fucked up. So I started, you know, vibing with the people talking about escaping, and they had taken my passports and they took all my money and you know everything, and they gave us each like $20 or $30. You're each allowed to have $30 to go and buy shit at the AA store and like books, and which was stupid. Like, why give?
Yeah, just let you have the.
Just give us the credit or whatever. We're in this fancy rehab. I don't understand. There was some weird shit, you know, and so then I'm like, you know, I'm chilling I am enjoying the food. I'm detoxing. I'm eating a lot of fucking food, and the guy tells me, you know, and I'm like, yo, so, and I'm like, so. There's like these islands, like it's a few little clusters of islands. There's actually one like strip that connects this island to the other island, but it's a long like bridge, you know, it's like a bridge, and there's no way that you can get from this island all the way out to the bridge, which is through like this weird desert, desolate area. Then you go to this bridge, but there's no way you can get to it without getting captured, because they know you escaped and they send out
They send a squad out.
They send a squad out to find you. They're like, there's no way out of here. Right. And I was like, I beg to differ. So the first time I tried to escape was kind of simple. I was just like, man, fuck this place. I can get out of here. They're like, you'll never get out of here. They'll catch you before you get anywhere. And I was like, no, homie, I'm the shift. So, I get together my little bag and I hop the fence and I'm out and I'm like, and I'm rolling through, and all of a sudden I look back at the rehab and I see like 3 little Range Rover Desert. It's like full movie, like Shifty in the Sahara, you know. And I see all these like fucking like jeeps driving through, like looking for me, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm in this goat herd. There's like this whole like all these goats rolling through, and like it looked kind of like Joshua Tree. There's like these weird trees with no leaves on them. It was kind of fucking in. It was a scene out of a movie, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, there's nothing to hide behind, you know? So I'm like ducking down in the goats and shit, and these cars are driving around looking for me, and I'm like one with the goats, like rolling through the herd. And motherfucking those fools rolled right into the goat herd. They're like, we see your ass. Boom. And, you know.
So they caught you the first time.
They caught me. I was like, fuck. They're like, we're taking you back. What the fuck are you doing? So then I go back, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I just been bugging out. And like, they take me back, and then I'm like, fuck. There's got to be a way off this island. And then, so then I'm at breakfast the next morning, you know, and I'm making friends with some people, and they're like, yo, so, see that island over there? You know, the only way, everyone in there, I mean, maybe I was just out of my mind, but everyone kind of was thinking already of how to get the fuck off. And one, you know, so it turned out I had all these people around me that were kind of wanted, like, still to get high. They had all been put there by their families and shit. Everyone was fucking devious, you know? So I was like, this is perfect for me. So I find a chef who's a native Antiguan, who's an ex-cocaine addict. And actually, crack addict. And I was like, motherfuckers got crack out here? Like, you guys got coke? And they're like, psh. He's like, man, this is the port. See that island out there? That's the port of cocaine. You can find kilos floating just on the beach. I was like, oh, really? So
you're like, oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
now
treasure
my
trove.
drug addict mind, I'm thinking like every
Dear
little
diary.
Robinson Crusoe, Shifty Crusoe. I'm like, this shit is on. So I'm just sitting there looking over at this island thinking, fuck. And then I'm like vibing with my drunk roommate, and he's like, man, I'll give you my $30. You come back with a bottle of rum. And I was like, okay. So then I start evolving this plan where I'm going to take everyone's $30 so that I have like $300-400. I'm going to make my way out to that island. Because I used to be on the swim team when I was like 12, which is completely insane. I had been on drugs for fucking 10 years, so like I was completely out of shape, and I'm thinking I could swim that motherfucker. Yeah. You know, like just insane. I'm like, man, I got swimming skills. I was, you know, like, I was in the YMCA swim team.
What was the distance?
You know,
what was the distance?
The distance, I mean, we're talking, it ended up being way further than, you know how when you look at shit that's far away and it seems closer? So I'm looking at it going, I could do this shit. I used to swim across the harbor back in Boston. Me and my boys would swim across the harbor. And I was looking at that shit. Plus I'm coming off drugs and my vision's fucked up. And I was like, I can make it. And they're like, man, you can't make it out to that island. You'll die. And I was like, no, I could do this. So in my head, you know, so then I start talking to the chefs and the guys, and they're like, man, I don't want to get in trouble, man. And I'm like, where the fuck how do I get to that island? And I literally had this guy make me a map of where to go he's like, you go there, you swim to that island, you go up the beach, and then you'll be in the ghetto. And you go to that ghetto, and there's cocaine everywhere. So I got this little fucking treasure map. I'm like, it's on. I'm rounding up money from all the fucking drunk housewives and the fucking kids in there. I'm like, everyone give me your money. I'm swimming to that island. I'm coming back with a bunch of shit. You know, so everyone was like fascinated. They're like, this kid's going to try to break out again.
So you're about to go be a supplier for everybody in this place.
I mean, I was just insane, man. But long story short, like, everyone just wanted to see me try. So then I'm at group, and the lady comes up one last time and gives me shit. I told you not to wear your hat. I'm like, fuck you. I take my fucking shoes off. I tie the Converse around my neck, and I'm walking up and down the beach. She's like, you need to come up here. And I'm like flicking her off, and I'm just thinking in my head. And I got this little Ziploc bag stuffed in my pants with like 8 people's money and a map from the chef to fucking Cocaine Island.
You got a fucking map?
I got a map to Cocaine Island. And I'm a hardcore addict, and I'm like, I got a map, an attitude.
You are Indiana Jonesing.
Dude, yeah, I got my map, and I'm ready to go, you know? And I'm looking at it going, fuck, that shit is far. And right then, like, a group of the Antiguan doctors got together, and they're walking down to me like I'm in trouble. Like, I'd already tried to escape the day before. They're like, this kid is super rebellious. And they're walking down to me at the beach. And I just fucking was like, fuck it, let's do this. And I fucking just ran out into the water, and I just started swimming. I had my Converse tied around, you know, like the strings were tied together around my neck so I could kick.
Yep.
And I had my fucking map in my pants, and I just started swimming the fuck out. And they all started screaming and running to the shore, and all the fucking addicts are like clapping and shit. Everyone's stoked. And I start swimming the fuck out, and I start swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming, and no one, you know, by the time everything had gotten together, I just kept swimming out. Then,
wow.
Then
That's like a few miles. This is.
I mean, yeah, bro. Dude, it's not close, man. I swam for like an hour, and I was a quarter of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
And there's buoys and shit out there. There's like buoys from, you know, and I'm holding on to the buoys and shit. And the motherfucking, I see a fucking boat. They're sending out somebody to look for my ass. So I'm hiding, like, this is like in the, you know, I'm hiding behind the fucking buoys and shit, and boats are going by looking for me and shit, and then, like, fucking, I duck underwater while they'd come by and shit, and so, like, they couldn't find me. They went back, they couldn't find me, I saw them dip out, and so I figured, you know, if I'm doing a breaststroke, they're gonna see the splashes.
Right.
But I was a junior lifeguard, so I'm doing the backstroke, and I'm like just incognito, just my face is sticking out of the water, and so they can't see me out there. They're looking, but they can't see no splashes. I'm just on my back, like, just dipping.
What they call it, the dead man float? Like,
yeah, because I was like, you know what? This takes less energy, and I could just do this shit all day long, exactly. Right? So then it starts getting dark. Like, it's not dark, but it's like twilight, you know? It's like fucking
hard to see.
It's not hard to see, but I'm just like, I look, and I'm like, this motherfucking island is still so fucking far away. And I literally start having conversations with God. I'm like, God, how the fuck did this happen? And I'm like looking back through my life, and I'm like, how did I end up in the ocean? Swimming away from a rehab. I said, you know, and I'm like, you are a crazy motherfucker. Like, and I start bargaining with God. At least let me make it to the cocaine before I die. Like, I didn't come this far to not make it to the cocaine
let me get
before
I die.
Yeah, like, at least let me make it to the treasure. You know, I'm like, please, God. Please, God, don't let it just end out here in the water. So, finally, after swimming for, you know, I mean, it's drug addict time. So, I mean, I'll say I must have been swimming for 3 hours, 4 hours, like a long fucking time. And then I start seeing it's closer, you know, and I'm like a fucked up seal. Like, one arm is working, the other one's sore. I got a fucking crazy, you know those cramps you get when you're like, they used to make you run in PE and shit? Yeah. Like, I had been on drugs, dude. I was not healthy, man, and I'm trying to do this fucking, like, crazy-ass fucking triathlon swim shit, and fucking, I wasn't built for it, man. I had not trained, and I was literally praying, like, barely making it, bro, just, like, ready to die. And
Probably thought you were.
but no, I literally,
For sure.
it was questionable.
Yeah.
And finally, I started seeing the island and started like believing in myself again, you know.
Yeah.
And it was fucked up because then, right when I got like to like let's say like half a mile or a little less, you know, like the island was there. Then I start like all of a sudden like I still got like 4 blocks to go, like where I can see the island. But the water is kind of like turning into like a marsh. And I can feel the bottom and I'm in like coral and shit. And all of a sudden my legs like are getting cut on fucking like rocks and coral. And I'm blood's in the water. Shit is real, dude. All of a sudden it turns from me like swimming for my life to now I'm like walking through this fucking shit and blood's like falling apart and I start laughing. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what did I just get myself into? Are you fucking serious? And I'm bleeding everywhere, my hands are cut, and then I get through that area and then it turns into like swamp, like marshland. Like I'm in like Lord of the Rings and shit, you know, and it's kind of like getting like dark and shit, and there's like all these weird trees, and then I straight feel like some shit go against my leg, and I almost have a heart attack, and I'm like, now what the fuck's in the water? It was like some water moccasin or something went by my leg, and I'm just like losing it, right? But the whole time I'm just like laughing at myself, like, are you fucking kidding me? So then I like, there's this like weird tree like sticking out of the fucking mud, and I grab the stick, and I'm like, fuck that shit, there's snakes and shit in the water, so I'm like poking where I'm about to walk and shit. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is like fucking some shit. So like now, like this has turned into the adventure of my life.
This is
and
crazy.
I'm going through this shit, and it's just begun. So finally, after a long time, I just crawl up on the beach, and I'm fucking cut up, and I'm fucked up, and I just look like I look like fucking, you know, Tom Hanks in Castaway, crawling up on the fucking beach, Shifty on the beach, right? And I crawled up on the beach, and I'm just like, so grateful I'm on land again, and I'm like fucking holding on to the sand, and motherfucking I'm laying there, and I hear some dude, and they speak patois there, right? So this fool with like some patois, he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And I turn around, and there's some dude with dreadlocks, and he's fucking just chilling. He's like, what the fuck happened to you? And he's got this like strong like
Accent.
radiate type thing. I'm not gonna do my impersonation of it. I used to have it down, but it's been too long.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so he goes, what the fuck you doing? I'm like, I just swam here. He's like, what do you mean you just swam here? And I'm like, I swam from the rehab. He's like, what do you fucking mean? I was like, I fucking just swam over here from that fucking rehab, Eric Clapton's rehab. And he's like, from the rehab way over there, boy. He's like, from the rehab way over there. He's like, you fucking crazy. He's like, there's sharks in this water. No one swims across that water. And I start thinking, man, if I...
fuck out of here.
I started thinking, man, if I had known there was sharks, I would have had a heart attack out there. Because I was thinking about so much shit that I did not think about sharks. The whole time I'm just thinking, like, how did I end up here? Blah, blah, blah. But if I had known it was shark-infested waters and that even the locals won't go out there, like, it would have been a wrap, bro. I don't think I could have... That's why I didn't think about that shit, because I wouldn't have made it. So
and you did cut yourself at some point.
Right, so I'm bleeding in the water and shit, and there's sharks. He's like, nobody swims out there. He's like, Britney Spears was at that rehab. I was like, and he's like, so who are you? Are you famous? And I was like, no, homie, not really. I was like, some people might think so. And he's like, no, come on. Like, if you're at that rehab, like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm in this band, Crazy Town. He's like, Crazy Town? Like, and I was like, you know, come my lady. He goes, oh my God, and he starts doing the bass. He's like, doo-doo-doo. He's like, that's my favorite song. And I'm like, how the fuck, out of all the people, do I find this fool who knows Butterfly on the beach? He's like, no fucking way, that's my favorite song. I was like, okay, cool, maybe this guy will help me find the cove. So
I bet you said earlier that you were pissed off at how much they pumped that shit on.
right, at that moment, it was so
great.
worth it, right? So I'm like, fuck. So I look at him and I say, check this out, bro. And I pull this little fucking Ziploc. I should have been like, I got the Ziploc, and I open it up, and there's money in there. And I pull it up, and I go, I gotta find this part of town. He goes, you're already here. So I somehow I'd like pulled up right on the beach, like by the ghetto.
Like where you wanted to
Where
go.
I wanted to go, but
Wow.
by swimming. Yeah.
And that's not even on. It was just.
It was just, I wouldn't say it was God, but someone brought me to the right place. Anyway, so
That's crazy.
So this fool was like, and I was like, is there cocaine here? He's like, you want cocaine? He's like, you come to the right man. My brother is the general. And I'm thinking, he's like, we've got all the cocaine. I was like, well, take me to your fucking leader, homie. Take me to your leader, bro. Here's my fucking little bag of money. Let's make it happen. He was like, looked at the money. He was like, okay, cool. Because I guess like American money there is worth a lot more. Whatever it was, you know. I mean, homie was a hustler. So he was like, cool. And we're walking. He's like, that's really you? He starts singing, come on, lady, come. He's like, look at all them tattoos. He goes, Tattoo Man. He starts calling me Tattoo Man. I was like, okay, cool. So we walk in, and we start walking by, like, it's like a shanty town, man. I'm in the hood, right? And he's like, no white people come here. Even the police don't come here. But you're with me, so you're safe. And I'm like, all right, whatever, homie. I was like, I've been to the hood, bro. I ain't tripping. He's like, but you're safe. And I was like, okay, this is kind of hardcore. There's, like, burnt cars and shit, and we're walking by people, and he's like, see this guy? He's with me. This is Tattoo Man. So everyone's like, all right, this Tattoo Man, I'm with this guy. His name's Zion. So Zion's walking me through the hood there, right? And we're in this little shanty town. And, you know, then we're walking, and all of a sudden, like, there's little kids and shit. He's like, hey, see this guy? This guy's with me. No one's fucks with him, right? And all these little kids. And all of a sudden, I feel like Muhammad Ali in that movie, you know, the little kids. They're all going, Tattoo Man, and running next to me and shit like I'm some fucking... And I was like, this shit's fucking surreal. Like, I'm all bloody and shit and dirty and fucking... I got all these little kids, like, yelling Tattoo Man. And I'm like, this is some shit. I wish the homies were here to see this. You know, but I'm alone, so...
That's wild.
And, you know, this story goes on, you know, but it's amazing. So anyway, I go to this little fucking, he leads me to this little fucking shanty, and we walk in there, and we sit by this fire, right? And it's the fire's, like, everything is fucking rad. It's a fucking, they have a fire, and there's a full cooking of chicken inside a rim of a car. They, like, as the grill, and it's in a bonfire, right? Mm-hmm. And I was, like, cooking some fucking bird in there and shit, and Homeboy rolls over, and... This guy's like mean. He's like a warlord. This guy Zion, right? He rolls over. He just kicks the dude cooking the chicken. And the guy like scurries off. Like so. I'm like, okay, at least I'm with like someone. This guy likes me, and he's definitely a badass. He's
pretty
like,
much the leader here.
Yeah, he's punking fools. Like that guy runs off, and he's like, you want some chicken? Gives me some of his chicken. So I'm like chewing on this little fucking piece of chicken and shit. And I
Was
sit
it better
down.
than the rehab food?
No, but the whole vibe was great because I had made it. You know, I'm sitting there like eating a piece of chicken.
It was victory chicken.
Yeah, I'm with fucking Zion, the Rasta fucking dude. Right. Fucking, he's taking me to cocaine. I couldn't be happier. So I'm sitting there eating the fucking chicken, and Homeboy like looks over. He's like, "So you want some cocaine?" And I'm like, "Okay, it's on, right?" And Homeboy walks over to a tree, and there's like a hole in the tree, and he starts reaching up the motherfucking tree. Right? He reaches up the tree, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what's Homeboy gonna pull out of the tree?" He pulls out, bam, he's got a gun. Holds the gun up, and I go, oh shit. Here we go. Like, you know, Zion's gonna take my fucking $20. Zion's gonna take my $200. Right? So Zion pulls out the gun, I'm like, whatever, dude. Fucking pulls out the gun, and he goes, psh, sticks it in the fucking waistband of his pants, and then he sticks his hand back up the tree, pulls out this like crazy big bag wrapped in like fucking, it's like wrapped in like whatever. Pulls out this big fucking bag. It's wrapped in like cardboard paper or whatever.
Some shit.
Motherfucking takes the shit, opens it up, motherfucking like half key of cocaine. He's like, you want cocaine? Here you go. Gives me the whole motherfucking thing.
Wow.
I guess like 8 balls there are like $20 or whatever. Like, so or $5 or whatever, dude. He gave me like fucking 4 ounces.
American money, you fucking kid.
Whatever it was, man. He was happy to be with fucking the butterfly guy. He was like, he was showing off. He gave me this huge thing of cocaine. He goes, there you go. There's some fucking cocaine.
That's fucking crazy.
So 2 weeks later. So I'm in this little shanty. He gives me my own little shanty and shit. I got cocaine. Like, I'm in there just fucking spun out of my fucking mind. You know, there's a little bar next door, and somehow, like, I'm so high on cocaine that I make friends with the guy at the bar, and I'm painting. I'm doing graffiti on the side of the bar. Like, I did this huge crown. Yeah. They gave me all this paint and shit, and I'm just fucking high out of my mind on all this fucking really good cocaine and, like, painting a crown. I did this big king bar, and the guy's giving me free alcohol to fuck. So I'm, like, just, like, I'm surviving. I ain't got nothing. I gave Homeboy all my money, and then Homeboy, after, like, maybe it wasn't 2 weeks, but it was, like, 8 days later, he was like, yo, man, you know, like, we got to get some more money. tell him, like, we can do that. So then he's like, we got to travel to town. And we're going to get you some money. But by that time, I'm dirty, and I'm fucking like, I'm just shanty boy. I'm tattoo man. Or I've taken on a whole new alias. So he takes me into town, and it's the cricket playoffs. Not that I'm a big cricket fan, but I guess cricket, you know, like the shit with the little hammer and shit. Yeah. Like, it's a big sport there, and motherfucking fools from all over the world are there who play cricket.
That's wild. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. I don't know shit about cricket. All I know is it's a bunch of motherfucking, like, straight fucking buffed out dudes fucking with hammers and shit, right? So we're fucking on the beach, and there's all these dudes in, like, striped fucking polo shirts and everything, and everyone's drunk as fuck. Right. And I was like, I'd been in the shanty town. I was the only, like, fucking white dude for miles. Like, I was chilling there. I was feeling it. I felt like I was back in Jamaica, you know? But then we roll into town, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm so fucking dirty and fucking, like, I'd turn into, like, this little ragamuffin kid.
Yeah, I mean, were you showering?
No. I jumped in the ocean a couple times, you know what I'm saying?
But this was like you're living off the land.
I'm living off the land.
This is like thousands of years ago.
I was in party mode, right?
Gotcha.
But, you know, I was feeling the vibe. So then I go into town, and he's like, we got to hustle, right? So then he starts telling these dudes, like, do you know who this is? Now, you're going to give us some dope. And he's going to call his family because he's got lots of money. So now I got, like, drug dealers loaning me dope against my reputation as being a rock star. Now, I had no idea. If I had gone to Antigua I would have gone to Antigua many years before if I had known it was such a party scene. And dope is cheap. It was just like, it's not the place to get sober. Anyway, so I go there. I'm getting shit on front. I got basically a manager now, because now Zion is like, not only, he's managing me. This motherfucker is like, I got Shifty in town. Fuck, he just escaped from a rehab. So now we're in bars. He's taking me to bars where he knows the owner is. He's like, you know who this guy sings that song, Butterfly, blah, blah, blah. He's from Crazy Town. Boom, boom, boom. He's fucking Googling us and shit. He's like, check this motherfucker out. He's here. That's him. Right? So now he gets me a gig. He gets me a gig. I'm getting paid like $600 to get up and do Butterfly or whatever it was. It was a lot of money because I was on the run. Right. So at this point, you know, I have lots of money back in LA, but my accountant's got my shit on freeze. So like when we're talking, it's $5 for a fucking 8-ball or whatever there. $600 is good. So I'm like, $600, I'll get up and kill Butterfly. Right? So I'm in this bar full of like drunk fucking cricket players. And I get up, I rock Butterfly, homeboy hands me like fucking, you know, whatever. It might have been more money. I don't know what it was, $600, $800.
Right.
To Zion, that was like paper.
Right.
To me, I was like, more party money. We're good. Free drinks all night. So I'm drinking and shit, and I'm fucking arm wrestling cricket players after I play Butterfly in this fucking club. Everyone's jocking. So now I got all these fucking rich cricket players, and I'm telling them my story. I'm like, I just escaped from rehab. I got mad loot at home. Can you front me $100? So by the end of the night, dude, I got like $1,400. I got cricket players fucking giving me their wallets and shit. They're like, I can't believe I'm shit partying with you. I'm like, yeah, loan me some dope. I'm on the run. So everyone's giving me money. So me and Zion walk out of there with like a bag full of like fucking beers and fucking money from this dude and money. I talked this guy out of money. I arm wrestled this guy for $60. Whatever. Like, it was a good little run to town. So I'm back to the ghetto, but now we're rolling. So we go back to the ghetto, and Zion's like, me and you are going to be so wealthy. And he starts talking to me, and then I start losing it because the guy starts talking about like I'm never going to leave. He's like, we are a great team. Me and you. And I'm thinking,
so you're like, uh-oh, I got to get figured out.
Yeah, well, at least I'm like, because I mean, this motherfucker's connected. He's definitely like the head drug dealer of Antigua's little brother. So, like, everyone does not fuck with him. Like, it's almost scary. Like, he's like a fucking, like, you know, in, like, the movies and shit, like the warlords and shit, where people are just really scared of people. He had that vibe, but I was feeling it, because I was, like, his best friend. He's managing me now, and we're rolling around, and we got loot now, and people are, you know, so, and like, when he buys dope, like, they just give him, like, I guess it's just, like, dope Disneyland there. So anyway, I'm fucking got dope now, and now I'm cooking dope, and I'm in the fucking tent cooking up dope, and fucking shit is real. I got fucking the bar that I'm friends with over there, and fucking I got a tab running, and you know, life is good.
Right.
And then I'm in the bar one night kicking it drunk, and this is when it all started going down. Is fucking, I'm in the bar, and obviously I'm the only white boy, but I felt totally at home. I was like, I'm chilling, but I was the only white boy, and I guess like some other gangbanger dudes were in the bar getting drunk, and they started calling me a skinhead. They're like, "What you doing, skinhead?" They started like talking shit.
Jesus.
So I was like, yo, chill. You're ruining my high. You guys are fucking up my high, man. Right? And I'm talking to this one fool. I'm trying to settle him down, you know, but out of nowhere, motherfucking Zion comes running through the bar with a motherfucking machete. Just sticks the motherfucker in homeboy's back. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, I've seen some shit, but like, machetes and bars going right into homeboy's back was like a little, you know, I was still negotiating.
Right.
Motherfucking stabbing motherfuckers. I was like, oh shit, just went from a fucking 5 to a 12.
Yeah, shit just...
Right, blood's fucking all over me and shit. I'm like, chill, Zion. He's like, don't you talk shit about my boy. And he's like, he ain't no fucking skinhead. Right, and fucking I'm like, oh shit. I was like, this is really fucking up my high. I'm already paranoid and shit. This is fucked up. So homeboy just starts fucking swinging around the machete saying, no one fucks with Shifty, you know, fucking. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, so everyone's looking with just a state, like this guy's bleeding everywhere and shit and fucking. I try to calm down Zion. I'm like, it's okay. Chill the fuck out. We don't have to go to that level yet.
Right.
Right? I'm like, chill out, homie. And Zion's like, no, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. And I was like, yo, dude, we don't need to be killing motherfuckers, dude. I've been up for fucking 2 weeks, and I'm just trying to fucking party, relax a little bit. We don't need to kill motherfuckers. So Zion's just like, fucking, I just saw a demon come out of him. And my boy, the bartender, was looking like he was more chill, and he was just looking like, oh no. So then Zion runs out, the other guys run, he chases out some fools. Zion's all worked up, and I like calm him down. But in the scuffle, my leg got hit with a motherfucking machete trying to break it up because it was swinging around. And now my leg is out. He like cracked my knee. My shit is fucked up, so now I can't walk. Now I'm all high and fucked up, and I got like a broken leg, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm like wondering like what happens, and he's like, no, police, come here. Right? He's like, all we have to worry about is retaliation. I'm like, great. So now I'm back in the shanty doing more coke. And homeboy's all creeping around, going, those guys are from the gang from the other side of the town. And be careful, stay low. And I'm like all high as fuck down on the ground doing more coke, going, fuck. You know, I'm like, shit.
Oh my God.
I'm down low, doing my coke down low, because, you know, bullets are going to start flying. And all of a sudden, blap, 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 blap. I hear guns and shit. Somebody did a drive-by on our shanty and shit. So I'm down on the floor going, fuck. Just trying to get in a couple more good ones before, because shit's going down. And they take off. It was more like just like they were retaliating, but they didn't really come in and murder anybody. They just drove by and like shot a gun and didn't hit anybody or nothing. But I'm still tripping because I'm like, this shit is not good. Like, no, this is definitely fucking on my high. And Zion's running around with his gun and shit. And I was like, this is just, you know, and all of a sudden it got real. And I started saying, you know, and I went across to the bar because I was like a little frazzled. And the bartender's like, man, you got to get away from that guy. He is evil. And I'm like, Zion? He's like, yeah, dude, he's killed 2 people last month.
He said he killed 2 people.
Yeah, he's like, homeboy is,
damn.
He kills people. He's a murderer.
So you were like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
So I'm like, fuck. So it turned out, in a weird fucking way, now I'm so stressed out that I'm actually thinking like, man, I got to get sober. Right? I'm like, this shit is, now I'm not having fun really. I'm like, this is kind of fucking, like I'm going to end up in an Antiguan prison for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, some shit's going to, you know. Like,
and if you thought the rehabs were bad there.
Right. I was thinking like I don't know if this is okay. Plus, I'm really on a lot of cocaine, so I'm a little paranoid to begin with. But we are getting shot at, and someone's stabbed, and they're planning retaliation, and whatever the fuck it is. But it's a lot going on. Plus, I'm on like fucking literally like an endless supply of cocaine. So anyway, long story short, so I'm vibing shit out. So I go to the bartender. He's like, "You gotta get the fuck away. Shit is going to be. Someone's going to die." And I'm thinking, okay, I want to get away. So then I go back to
and he told you that this guy was a legit murderer.
Yeah, legit murderer.
Zion was a kid.
Zion was a motherfucking. He was a real deal.
That's
You know, I'm
crazy.
used to being around killers and murderers.
Look,
Wait, no, not really. No,
Not like
I'm
on
joking.
that level.
I'm joking, but the shit was real, right?
It's like motherfuckers in America think they're hard until they see
Yeah,
some shit like
motherfucking.
that.
I was just on TRL. I ain't trying to fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like shit is a little bit real. You know, like I grew up. I grew up wild, but this was like dark, and you know, at the same time it was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you know, I know when I should probably leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
it was not like, you know, I got a whole life at home. Like I'm trying to pull it together. I mean, it was fun and the map and all this shit was cool, and then it was kind of getting crazy. So I start talking with the bartender. He's like, "Man, you got to get away." And I'm like, "Well, cool. Well, you know," and he's like, "He's not going to let you go. You're like the best thing that's happened in a long time." And I was like, "What the fuck?" So I start telling him, you know, I'm back in the tent. I was like, "I got to go back to my family, bro." He's like, "You can't leave. We got a good thing going on here." And I was like, "No, man, I've got a whole life, a whole career." Like, I was like, you know, I'll send you a bunch of money when I get to my money.
Right.
So I start like trying to
negotiate
so that homeboy will help me get out of there now. Because I'm ready to go the fuck back to LA at least. Even if I'm not getting sober, I want to get the fuck out of
Right, but you were under the impression that he wanted to keep you there to keep forcing you to do shows to make money, though, right?
We just saw great things. I mean, he was just some like fucking hood rat who all of a sudden had like a fucking platinum recording artist that he was representing, and shit was popping. You know, he had a good thing. Like we you know, the hustle was good. He felt good about it. You know?
Right, yeah. Definitely.
It was good.
Yeah.
You know, so I was negotiating with him that I'm worth more to you if you let me go back to LA.
Right.
You know, but not like he was holding me hostage. I was talking to him more like as my buddy. Like, I miss my family. You know, I can't be out here forever. Yeah. He's like, "Why not?" He's like, "Why can't you just stay?" And I was like, "No, man, I really got to get back."
Oh, he liked you.
Yeah, he liked me. You know, he liked me, right? So then he's like, "Well, you know, you need to meet my brother." So then he sets up this thing, and I meet his brother. And his brother comes in and says, "What the fuck's going on?" I told him I escaped from that fucking rehab, and I met your brother on the beach, and I've been in here doing dope for fucking 9 days or whatever the fuck it was, a long time. And you know, now I need to get back to LA, and you know, I when I get to my money, I can break you guys off. Help me figure out how to get back. You know, and they're like, you know, the rehab had my passport. They hadn't heard from me in weeks. So the brother goes, "Man, my brother's not good in the head." You know, I was wondering what happened to old Zion. I'm sure he's not doing too well, but
might not even be alive.
might not even be alive. But anyway, his brother was like, "My brother's a little fucking sick in the head." He's like, "He's not the best guy for you to be hanging out with." And his brother starts liking me. Now, I mean, everyone at this point is probably seeing dollar signs by being my friend. But at the same time, not that I'm fucking Richie Rich or nothing, but to them, it was unique.
Yeah.
They had a celebrity who swam out of this thing, and it's in their shanty town. So, you know, but the brother was actually really cool and smooth. He was a fucking evil guy, too.
Well, I don't even think a lot of people could have been in that situation and even survived it.
Right.
Like,
so the brother's telling me, you know, "Man, you need to get away from my brother, too."
Right.
He's like, "You know, this is not a good deal." He's like, "Homeboy's losing it. He just stabbed the guy from the other. There's going to be some repercussions from that. The police might even come." And he's saying, "You know, you need to get out of here, bro." So then Zion busts in the room, and his brother's telling me, "You need to let this guy go." And all of a sudden, Zion's having some emotional. He needs some therapy. Homeboy's like, "You like him more than me." And he starts getting into this brotherly conflict of that the brother's taking my side over his. And now Zion's mad at me and shit because me and his brother are all chummy. And there was just like this love triangle going on. And shit got hectic. And I'm like, fuck! Now I got both homeboys. He's jealous. Shit was fucking real, right? So I'm sitting there going, man, like, you can't write the shit. Like, this is just one story, and it goes on, man. The shit, but I'm gonna keep going. So then the brothers are fighting, And, obviously the older brother just kind of runs shit. But Zion complains a lot. Like, he's not stable. So I'm like, I'm going over to the bar. You guys fight this out. And the brother's like, I'm going to talk to him. And so I go over to the bar, and the guy's like, tonight, I'm going to fucking roll up. And when you hear my engine outside, you run and jump in the back of my car, and I'm going to drive you the fuck out of here. The bartender. And he's like a Jesus guy. He's very spiritual. He's like, I'm very worried about you, and I'm going to help you escape. They'll probably kill me, but I'm going to help you escape. So now I'm like planning to escape from the shanty that I'm partying with these fools. And he's going to roll up with the fucking car, and I'm going to hear this little in the bushes, and I'm going to run out and jump in the back of a car and escape out of the shanty town, right? So now I got it all planned out, and I'm also trying to get in my last coke because I got a bunch of coke left. So I'm like, okay, tonight I'm escaping. I'm doing a lot of dope. I'm like trying to. I'm actually being a therapist. I'm like, Zion, calm down, homie. Everything's good. You're my friend.
You're trying to calm him down.
Trying to calm down. Your brother loves you, and I'm like doing little therapy between the two. I'm like, you guys need to just make up, And I'm doing this love counseling and shit between Zion and fucking the general. And trying to mend their relationship because they have a lot of issues, and I'm on cocaine, so I got plenty of time and I can talk my ass off. So I'm literally like pulling some counts and shit. And after our little therapy thing, I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to my little room, my little corner of the room, do some more dope because I'm about to escape. And fucking I'm back there, I go do a little more coke. And there was also some really horrible shit that I was seeing. Like, there's some shit. Like, there was this chick that, there was, some bad shit that I saw happen with a chick, and they were mistreating this girl, and it was just fucked up. And I was like, I don't like these. These fools are fucked up, but I was keeping my cool. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I definitely wasn't really going to call them after I left. So,
fair enough.
So
you're like, as soon as I'm out of here,
these motherfuckers are fucked up. Yeah. So then I hear the little engine running that night, and I run out and I jump in the back of this little fucking, it's like a Datsun. I jump in that motherfucker, and this dude is like, I got this Jesus guy who owns the King Bar that I did the art on, and he's helping me escape. And I jump in the car, and he goes, let's go. And he fucking, it's like now and then. It's like, so I'm driving out of there, and he drives me to town, and he lets me out, and he goes, you call that rehab, and you go home, and he gives me a big hug, and he's like, God bless you. And I was like, oh, yeah, thank you so much. So he gets me out of there, and by that time, I got a broken leg, so literally, I can't walk, dude, and I'm dirty, and it was like that humbling moment, like, the party's over, homie. I'm coming off a lot of dope, and I wish it was that simple. But anyway, I start walking up to people, and it was the first time I walked up to this white, tourist family, and I said, excuse me, can I please use your cell phone? And they looked at me like I was all tattooed up and dirty, and they were like, they just grabbed their kids and walked away, and I was like, fuck.
Like, it's bad when you're in a place like that.
And I'm the
scary... You're the one they're running away from.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, man. And I looked at myself, and I was like, damn, dude, I'm like all fucking drugged up and like, yeah. So finally I find like this is where it gets, is they have cocaine bars in Antigua, which is the weirdest shit. Like a coffee house, you go in and they have a menu, and you just are like, I would like an 8-ball in this, and they give you,
get the fuck
it's fucking crazy, right? Wow. But I didn't find that out until I got to town. See, I found out I was in the ghetto, but in town,
it's like normal.
In town, that like they hustle and sell dope to like people in tourists and shit. So I'm in town, and I run into some cricket players. I'm down with the cricket players. Anyway, I ran into some cricket players. They let me call, and this is like one of those humbling fucking drug addict moments. Is I get the phone, and I get one phone call, and I call my mom, and I go, Mom, I get the one phone call, and I get hung up on. That's the demoralizing shit. It's like I get this one phone call, and my mom hangs up on me, right? And then I'm like scrambling. I'm like, let me make one more phone call, and I call my sister. My sister's the one who was so fucking that her and her husband got me the ticket to go to this rehab. They're like, just make it to the airport. We don't want you to die. Go to this fucking rehab. And obviously, I turned it into fucking Robinson Crusoe. Fucking, so fucking. I get the call, and I call my sister, and she's like, Seth, I can't fucking believe you. Can't even everyone's furious. And they're like, I'm like, what do I do? You guys, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. I'm ready to go back to the rehab. They're like, they don't fucking want you at the rehab, Seth. They think you're dead. And apparently, like, the rehab sent out a search party, and I'm like a legend at the rehab. Apparently, like, they think I'm lost at sea. And
the only one that's ever escaped. The only one that's...
No. They think
they think you're dead.
They think I'm dead.
Yeah.
They think the fucking motherfucker.
The sharks.
Yeah, they think I detoxed halfway out and fucking sharks and whatever. They're like, the kid is lost at sea.
Yeah.
So I'm a legend there, basically. You know, they're fucking like making like pictures of me in fucking art class and shit. You know, it's like I'm fucking the legend of the rehab. Like, they're like, no one has ever done this, and you know, they're like, no, she's like, just call them, right? And I'm like, please just call them and tell them that I'll meet them. And she's like, Seth, you're a fucking nightmare. So anyway, my sister gets off the phone, right? And no one is really thinking about sending me money at this point. You know, they're like, you escaped rehab. Call the fucking rehab. Fuck you. So then I'm sitting there and I'm going through my thing, and fucking, you know, a group of stewardesses, but it's 3 dude stewardesses, right? Goes, Shifty? And I'm like, what up? And they're like, what the fuck happened to you? I'm like, I got you in my fucking eye, you know, I'm sitting here listening to you on my iPod, what's up? I'm like, listen, bro, I fucking escaped from this fucking rehab, and I've fucking been here fucking high on drugs. And they're like, oh my God, you've got to get it together, Shifty. So I start getting on the end. They take me for some food. And they're like, boy, you're fucked up. And like, you know, and now I got these,
wow,
these really flamboyant stewardesses who are Crazy Town fans, who are trying to, like, they're just looking at me like, you've got to get help, and I don't want you to die. And so they let me use their phone a couple times, and I called the rehab, and the rehab is just like, what? And I'm like, I need my passport. I need to come back. I'm ready to get sober now. And they're like, we don't care if you're ready to get sober. You're never coming back here again. We can't let you back after the scene you caused here, and now you're a legend here, and everyone thinks you've been dead for 2 weeks. No, you're not coming back. They're like, but we will send a crew to pick you up, okay, and take you to the airport where you will fly the fuck home, because you're our responsibility while you're in the country of Antigua, because you're part of our rehab. So now I'm all paranoid and shit. I'm like, what? You're gonna send the cops to get me and take? I'm like, oh fuck no, I'm still on it. So, you know, I'm like, I'll get back to you.
Wow.
So now I'm talking to these stewardesses. I'm like, anyway, I'm talking to these fucking pilots or whatever. Flight attendants. Fucking, I'm
whatever
like, yo,
the appropriate.
I'm like, check it out, y'all. Yo, don't sound good. It looks like the police are getting involved. They got my passport, and they're like, oh, Shifty Shellshock. You know, and fucking, it's just like, they're a little flamboyant, so everything's like, what are we gonna do? And they're all, and so they were super cool though, right? So long story short is, like, you know, they fed me and stuff, and we were hanging out, and I had one of those moments where I was like, now I'm really fucked up. They won't let me back to the rehab. Now I'm going back to LA, which kind of scared me because I'm never going to get off drugs in LA, and I failed again. So I was like, I better go on one more good one. So I was like trying to talk them into giving me a little more money, and then I would turn myself in. So I managed to get them to give me a couple $100, and that's when I went and partied in town. So anyway, long story short, I end up getting picked up by these guys, and they give me a passport, and they give me some money, and they take me to the airport, and they detain me until I get on my plane, and
that's it.
I get on. No, it's not really it. I'm off and running. The saga continues. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking,
well, wasn't that the story? That whole thing. Right?
Yes. So I come back to LA. I'm out of my fucking mind. The first thing I do is I get on the plane, and I'm complaining about my leg. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, and I remember I called my manager, and they're like, Seth, you're gonna get on the fucking plane. Oh, that's who had started helping me, my management at the time. And they thought I was, they were like, they had managed some of the biggest crazy motherfuckers in the world, like Metallica. I gave them all a run for their money, man. They were like, Shifty, you have a layover in Las Vegas, but it's only 45 minutes. Do not miss your plane. When you get to LA, we'll figure some shit out. So, long story short, I'm on the plane, and the first thing that happens is some dude sees me rubbing my leg, and he's like, "You want some Vicodin?" And I start taking. I'm on the plane home. I take some Vicodin. I land in Vegas. They're like, "There'll be a 7-hour layover," and I'm like, "Boo!" I had my management send me five. They
back on the block
yeah,
again.
back on the block. They wired me some money, and I'm off in Vegas, fucking tearing shit up, and that's a whole other story. But anyway, a few months later, I ended up in the hood, and I get a call from my mom, and she goes, "Check this out, Seth. Dr. Drew just called, and apparently he heard your story about swimming off the island, and they want to pay you to go to rehab." And I'm like running out of cash. My accountant's like, all my royalties, everything are froze. Everyone froze everything. I can't get any of my money.
Right.
They're like, this motherfucker's gonna kill himself. But I still managed to fucking do quite well. So anyway, I get a call, and I'm kind of like depressed, walking through the hood, running out of money, and I get a call, and they're like, I'm like, what do you mean they want to pay me to go? I was like, that sounds interesting.
And then of course it'd be in a reality show.
She gives me a number, and she goes, "Seth, get it fucking together. Here's the number they left. Maybe this one will work for you." And I call the number, and the next thing you know, I'm on motherfucking Celebrity Rehab for fucking 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And
you were adored on that show, though. Like everyone that I've ever talked to that watched that show, you were
that
like
show.
a
Well, you know
star.
why? Because that was the real deal. I came in there. It's like I'm not a fucking evil person. I have a huge heart, and I got fucked up on drugs. And you give anybody that many drugs, and shit's, it's like addiction's a really sad thing. It's a disease. It's not like I'm meant to do all that shit, like you're under the illusion that you're having a great time, but really you're destroying yourself, and it's sad. I've lost so many beautiful people, and that invisible line that you cross, and then
how do you go about parenting with your 3 sons? Like, what do you like if Halo came home one day and said, "Yeah,
luckily
this party," and they had
luckily my addiction has put fear into most of my family. Like, I'm sober now, and I'm trying to be the best dad I can, and I'm doing damage control and trying to fix everything at once. Like it's such a fucking I have to enjoy the process, but I do. I'm grateful, and there's been so many other things that happen, in comas and flatlines and getting stabbed and blah blah blah. I mean, I'll have to come on the show again, and I'm definitely writing a book, but right now my focus is the new record and touring and because I get to do what I love, and I'm about to go on this tour, and then I'm going to Europe for 7 weeks, and I'm playing all over the fucking world, and I'm making like the best music of my life, and I love it, and I get to start putting out songs after the summer. End of summer, I'm going to probably drop the first single, and it's exciting for me. I'm still still rocking, still doing what I love, and it's a new day.
Nice. Have you considered, other than acting, because I know you said you definitely would be down to act and be in a movie again for sure. But like, have you considered also doing, or has anybody approached you at all about any kind of VJ work or any kind of like?
I don't even know if there's no more MTV. What is a VJ?
Well, there, believe it or not, there's actually more needs for VJs now than ever because it's actually all on YouTube.
All that shit, I'm game for all of it. But right now, what I need to do as a musician is take care of myself, fix my relationships with my family and my sons and the people that I love, and make great music and do what I love. I definitely don't need to be some superstar again. I get to do what I love. I get to pay my bills, fix all the shit that I fucked up, and it's really a beautiful process. I love being sober. I love carrying the message to another alcoholic, and it's all good.
If there was one artist in the industry, I want to definitely ask you this before we wrap up, but if there's one artist or producer or anybody in the industry right now that you would love to get involved with this new record in any way, shape, or facet, who would it be?
Dr. Dre.
All right, that was
Without a
perfect
doubt,
answer.
Dr. Dre.
For real. Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, he's
Dr. Dre.
the king. He's the king. All right. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that that I really appreciate you coming here and doing this and sharing a whole bunch of the shit, your stories.
Or Rick
and-
Rubin. Don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah, I know you did
Rick
say
Rubin
before.
or Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Rick Rubin, man.
Rick Rubin is the,
I mean, he was the producer of your favorite album of all
yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, many of my favorite records.
Yeah.
From System
But
to
License to
Red
Ill
Hot
for
Chili
sure.
Pepper. Like everything Rick Rubin touches is amazing. I just threw out Dre because I have a rock aspect, and Rick Rubin really hits both of those, but Dre is one of the people that I
feel like
really
a
look
dream
forward
come true. Yeah.
to. Both,
Yeah.
and I plan on working with them both.
Imagine having one album produced by both Dre and Rick Rubin.
Yeah,
Like those are the only two producers on the whole
let's
album.
make it happen. Hit me up. I'm sober.
You are,
Yeah.
and for sure, huh?
Huh?
Like, you're never gonna fucking like. This is it. This is it.
I mean, never say never.
I know.
But I will tell you, I'm in a fucking amazing place right now. I'm killing it. I do everything I need to do to stay sober and on point, and I don't see myself going back to that. And it makes me cringe to think about ever doing it again. So that's a good sign.
That's a very good sign.